This is the hard knock life, but not the chicken kind.
Welcome to the Nerds of Color Reading Lounge here at CTRL+ALT and our live edition of Hard NOC Life, the Nerds of Color podcast. I am Keith Chow, your host. Again, welcome to CTRL+ALT here in New York City. I am joined by the illustrious Vishavjit Singh. Welcome to CTRL+ALT.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I wanted to talk about your persona as Captain America and how necessary it is, and now especially in these times, and also talk a little bit about the piece that you did for us here in the Reading Lounge. So, can you talk first about why you chose Captain America to be your alter ego?
So, I this was like a photo shoot that somebody wanted me to do, and I did not want to do it. I didn't want to dress up as Captain America because superheroes don't look like me. They certainly are not skinny like me. They don't have glasses. They don't have turbans. So I bought into all of that as an adult. Created an illustration with a Captain America with a turban and beard, and thanks to Hollywood, that was not my idea. And the first shoot that I did in this city, this was in June 2013. It was like magic, right? You go into a comic world where strangers were hugging me, NYPD cops were taking photos with me. I got pulled into weddings, believe it or not. It's crazy. So that's the power of comic books. So for that 9 hours when I was out on the streets, people thought I was Captain America actually. So that was cool. So and then as soon as I get out of Captain America, of course, there's a whole different sort of perception where people call me all kinds of names that change over time. Unfortunately, for the past 1 or 2 years, a very common name is ISIS for me. As a cartoonist and somebody who's been doing this for a long time, I figured out my own ways of dealing with it, but I know a lot of youngsters so many youngsters, Asians and Latinos and blacks, I don't know how they deal with somebody who calls them that, sometimes fellow students. So yeah, it's a challenge, but I use my persona to kind of confuse people. So that's where it works out really well.
And I think a lot of people who know you strictly from the Captain America, because maybe they saw the Kamal Bell episode or caught some of your appearances, they may not know that you're a cartoonist first, right?
No, and actually, interestingly, I just met somebody. So that Kamal Bell video, the last sequence in the video was actually, there was an Asian Thor, there was a gay Hulk.
Captain America, we here at Totally Biased really appreciate what you're doing, so we wanted to help you by providing you with some totally biased Avengers.
Presenting Asian Thor.
I am Thor, god of thunder.
So the gentleman who played gay Asian Thor, he actually was here. For the first time, I met him after that video. So a lot of people don't know that I'm a cartoonist, and so when I do get to introduce myself, I tell them, look, first and foremost, I'm a cartoonist. That's kind of what I love to do. But Captain America has opened a lot of doors for me, and that's why I keep doing it, because it gets me to have special powers. So for example, I was in Cleveland for the RNC convention, and it was amazing. I mean, I had a lot of Republican delegates, a lot of Trump supporters who engaged me, who talked to me, who took photos with me. That wouldn't happen in civilian clothes. I know that for a fact. So there are sort of perks to being a Captain America.
And to kind of go off of that, your talent as a cartoonist, the piece that you did here for CTRL+ALT, can you explain a little bit about what was the thinking behind it and what you were trying to get across with your Captain America Does Not Exist?
Yeah. So I guess the point that I'm trying to make up with that piece is comic superheroes don't exist, right? I mean, we know that, I guess. Most of us know that. Maybe little kids don't know that, but they don't exist, right?
What do you mean they don't exist?
Well, I'm sorry, Keith. Yes, I know. But what's interesting is they exist in our imaginations, right? Because if they did not, people would not respond to me the way they respond to me as Captain America, right? I mean, I'm suddenly the coolest American in the world, right? But as soon as I come out, it changes. So it's somewhere in our heads they exist, right? So what I wanted to do with this piece is, piece was done a few weeks ago. I knew election time's happening. We were going to have a new president. Trump could be our new president. But the point that I was trying to emphasize is, if we did have a Captain America today, a real life Captain America, this is a guy who really could be. So this fictional character happens to be an immigrant who is a first generation. His parents are from India, came here as political asylum they took in the US. He grew up being taunted as raghead, Taliban, Osama bin Laden, things that I get to hear all the time. So I'm projecting here, obviously, but I know a lot of kids who go to school here in New York City, across the US, they have to listen to those things.
And it's only getting worse.
And it's getting worse, yes. And now it's not just Sikh kids, it's happening to a lot of other kids. And but the other thing I was also trying to do with this piece is stereotypes and racism is not just a black and white issue. It's not just like white people that are projecting to black people. There's a lot of racism in our communities as well. So you go into South Asian communities, you want to see anti-black racism come into South Asian communities. They exist to a large extent. So the sidekick for Captain America here happens to be an African-American woman who this guy meets in high school, and they fall in love, and now they kind of, work as a team. But he gets a lot of flack from his parents in a South Asian community because they're like, why are you dating? Why do you have a black woman as your significant other? So I'm trying to bring in issues that are, usually we don't talk about them, right? And I'm sure it happens even in other Asian communities too, where we have racism going in all over, all the directions, right? So I'm sort of trying to highlight that, but I had the election in mind. So this Captain America happens to be a hacker, right? So what he's doing is he's hacking in and basically toppling CEOs, toppling election campaigns. Unfortunately, that did not work in this one, or it worked in the other direction. Yeah. But yeah, so it's contemporary, right? What would a Captain America today do? Would be perhaps a computer hacker who's going to take on NSA or whoever else.
Well, and I also love that it does recontextualize the idea of what makes a Captain America. In the comics, he's Steve Rogers. He's blonde-haired and blue-eyed and chiseled and jaw and everything. But I think, like you said, it's reinterpreting what it means to be an American.
Absolutely. And look, superheroes today, most of them, they're not going to have muscles. They're going to sit behind a computer. That's what superheroes are going to be doing today. So we need to stop making superheroes big and tall. They're going to be like, people sitting behind the computer, almost never getting out, and finding out all your emails. Probably very boring emails, but that's what superheroes are going to be doing today. Yeah. So we need to stop making superheroes who are really big and bulky. Superheroes today are going to be, they're going to be a lot of women. They're going to be LGBTQ. They're going to be both LGBTQ and Muslim and Sikh. So that's what's going to be happening. So I think hopefully our comics, I know Marvel and the big dogs are kind of heading in the right direction, right?
Yeah.
But they really need to. Now is the time. We're living almost in Trump presidency, so we need to push that envelope now.
Yeah, we're living in that post-dystopian apocalyptic time period now. That you used to imagine, the zombies are coming. The zombies are coming. Where can people find you online and on Twitter and on all the social media platforms?
Yeah, so I have a website, Sicktunes, S-I-K-H, not S-I-C-K, sicktunes.com. My handle all over the place is Sicktunes, and if you Google Sikh Captain America, I'll show up a bunch of times, and I plan to do a bunch more events. Hopefully, I might be in DC for the inauguration dressed up as Captain America. Just might be.
We need you, Captain America.
Yes.
Thank you for being part of Control Alt, and we'll see you around.
Thanks for having me. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Well, it's the NOC in full color, you see me? The Hard NOC Life, comics, movies, and TV, yeah. Pop culture with a different perspective. Watch it on your screen, hit play, so check this. This is the Hard NOC Life, but not the chicka kind. More like the people in the world seeking perspectives with a different line. The kids who share the interest together with a similar kind. When they said Don Glover for Spider-Man, they didn't mind. The activists, directors, comments, and the lectures. Fanboys, professional artists, and professors. Maybe a nerd who's just like you, talking about the things that you like too. So I invite you to the NOC in full color, you see me? The